Buenas tardes, familia. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. If not, smile because it will get better. With that said, I just want to do a quick video answering some questions that you guys had, and that is being that, hey Gio, what editing software do you use, or what editing software do you prefer using? With that said, I am split in the answer, but before I do the answer, I just want to do a quick little history of my editing programs I've used in the past. So I started out like almost everybody else in the past, you know, either with Movie Maker or iMovie. Because I own a Windows actually PC, I actually started editing with a Movie Maker software. From there, I upgraded to a editing software called Corel. I don't remember what was the real name or how you spell it or how you say it actually. It's just something like that. With that said, during my senior year when I was taking a video production class, because we had IMAX in the classroom, I was using iMovie, which I should have had the opportunity to use Final Cut Pro, but for some reason I never got into it. So I was using iMovie. From there, after I graduated, I upgraded to Sony Vegas 11. That was the first Sony Vegas I've ever used. I didn't use anything else. It was just pure Sony Vegas. From there, as I upgraded my laptop and time progresses, I went from Sony Vegas 11 to 12 to 13, which I use now. I don't always stay with 13. I always sometimes downgrade to 11 or sometimes upgrade to 12. It's just depending on my mood or how my computer's acting up that day. I will always switch from back to forth from 11, 12, and 13. With that said, just recently, I started using Premiere CS6, not CSGO, goddamn, CS6, which is what I'm using right now. And between Vegas and CS, I was using After Effects. I didn't get it so much into After Effects, but I used it. Now, to answer the question, guys, what do I prefer for using for when I'm editing? When I'm doing linear editing, in other words, when I'm doing like funny moments, or when I'm doing like a cut-com, or when I'm doing something else, I've actually been leaning more towards Adobe Premiere. For some reason, it's a little bit more easier on my computer. It seems that when I record my Elgato, because I use a high setting for the quality, I end up having like 23, 24, 30 something gigs of size in the clip. So when I import it to Sony Vegas, for some reason my CPU just goes ham on it, where when I upload it to Premiere, it does not go as hard on my CPU. I don't know why. I haven't done the research. I'm not going to sit down to do the research neither. But when it comes to montage editing, for example, when I do like a Call of Duty or CSGO, or when I'm doing a real life editing, or when I'm doing, like, for example, like the Star Wars the Old Republic trailer editing, I do that with Sony Vegas just because I'm so much familiarized with the software rather than what I am with Premiere. So I lean towards Sony Vegas when I'm doing like quote unquote hardcore editing, because I know what I could do. I'm more secure about it, and I know the outcome of what I'm doing is gonna come out the way that I want it to. And with Premiere, I'm still learning to it. I'll probably end up leaning more towards Premiere in the future. I'm not gonna stop using Vegas. I will still use Vegas, but I'll probably end up leaning more towards Premiere just because I want to learn other software and whatnot. So with that said, guys, I hope I answered your question. Any doubts? I don't have a favorite program. If I had to choose a favorite program, it will have to be Vegas, just because it was the first quote unquote pro editing program. So it's just like out of respect. But other than that, guys, I respect both of them. Until next time, guys. Peace.